Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Vibing with Sleezy, the podcast. This is season 3, episode 3. This is the part 2 of my episode with Contrary Cherry, aka Paige, and I'm thrilled to have her here for part 2. Like I said in the end of part 1, we're not done talking. We still have more to talk about, and you know, Paige has always got stuff to tell you and cool shit to do. And like I said, she's awesome, and I'm so excited to have her back. Paige, welcome back.
Yes, it's like I never left.
Yeah, it's like you never left. So you are here, and I can't thank you enough for doing the 2-parter and for recording and giving it, the Vibing with Sleazy and me, the crowd, your time. So I just appreciate it. And I'm really excited to talk to you about some stuff. You know, you and I always discuss food, so we definitely need to talk about food. I feel like that wasn't touched on in the part 1, so food's definitely going to get brought up. We're going to do a reading, Paige will, and it's always incredible, and she's always accurate, and she always leaves me with chills. And we're going to talk about one of her friends, which we'll get to. But I want to first ask her some questions for the crowd and for everyone to get to know Paige some more. So, who is some of your spiritual motivation people for you? Like, who's some people that motivate you spiritually? Because you motivate so many others.
So there's a few people, like one woman that I found, Big Empress Energy. I found her about 4 years ago, and we really want her on the podcast. I always support her. So on the full moon this week, she has this collective group reading and sound bath, and she plays all these sound bowls and all these chimes and all these tuning forks, and she does all of this very beautiful poetic type stuff, and then she gives a beautiful reading, and then she does Reiki, which I do Reiki, but receiving Reiki is fun because then you're getting what you need, not what you want, because when you're doing Reiki, you're telling the Reiki what to do. So I like getting the Reiki from her in the group because it's like she does this beautiful altar. So she's a huge inspiration in my journey. And I hope that when we finally do meet, she listens to all the interviews because she loves me so much and finds out that I've been talking about her for 4 years because she's amazing. But the coolest thing happened recently. I always bought her oils. She makes blessings oil or protection oil and I'm a big oil and lotion person. I am big on lather up and lotion and oils, just my thing. So she makes all these beautiful oils that literally smell like heaven on earth, and you're just shocked that all these herbs and glitter and things are in there, and it just smells like this. So I ordered her newest 2 oils. Well, she had 3 available, but I only ordered 2. She sent me the other one wrong. And so now she's going to replace it, no problem. And I get to keep. So I'm I've been manifesting her to come onto the podcast and manifested an extra bottle of her blessings oil, even though I already have the big, $100 bottle. She had this huge bottle a year ago, and I still had at least 3/4 of it, and I use it all the time. But the first day I got that blessings oil, Eric, I booked 17 readings. I went viral on a TikTok, and so many people came to my page that day and booked readings. I think
you're blowing my mind.
At that time, my readings,
that's huge.
They were email readings. Yeah, people were going nuts, and I think that was really a shifting point for me on TikTok in general. And this was a year ago when she released the blessings oil. It was the first time I'd ever see her do that, but she's been doing this for 10 years. I just found out who she was 4 years ago, but I have done her tarot school. I've been on live classes where she knows Contrary Cherry. That's what she calls me, because she used to interact with me on that Instagram. So that was kind of one connection that probably would have been different.
That's how you're saved in my phone, Contrary
If I could message her on that account, because she actually told me happy birthday this year. She's a Taurus.
That's awesome.
So I gave her a Taurus shout out, and then she somehow I don't know, so I'm just she is my idol. And then the other person that I really admire spiritually a lot is Bunny, because Bunny is so spiritual, and since I've been working with her and Jelly, they have manifested so many things that are just mind blowing. The things that they're doing now, it's just in so elevation mode. It's so rocket mode, or rocket power, I guess would be the word, right? And I've been working with them since 2020. So it's like 3 years of time that has changed everyone's life.
Yeah.
And, at that time, I was going
huge.
through a lot. But shifting and elevating and meeting people that were helping me. And like I always say that being on Bunny's podcast, like my first interview ever, iconic, but being on her podcast changed my life, and it kind of like gave me that like full tank of gas that I needed, because if not, I would have been running on fumes shortly thereafter, like doing free readings all of 2020, because I did my first interview with her at the end of 2020. And it came out like in January. It was like January 11th, 1/11/21. So
and see, and you're all about numbers, which I love too. And shout out to Jelly Roll. His career's taken off huge, and
deserves it.
Yeah, deserves it. I'm very impressed, and proud of where he's gone, his journey, and then shout out to Bunny. And like I said, I think it's awesome. Before you came on, even my first season, it was like Shelby, the girl that had recommended you, she had heard you with her or whatever. And so it's all about networking. Who knows? So
She's
I think
literally
that's cool.
became like one of my best friends, and she has embraced her spirituality so much differently. And me and Bunny talk all the time. Like people literally think I'm so close to Bunny that they can message me. Actually, I had a DM earlier that was like, I'm trying to propose at the Jelly Roll show in Nashville in December. Do you think you could make that happen? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna call him my favorite freaky Joe Blow. I'm gonna call him my favorite freaky, but honestly, like Bunny's like a sister to me. Like me and her have known each other in a past life. We have went in some deep like healing together. I support everything that she's doing. I think that she's just an icon. I think she's like literally like the Dolly Parton of our time, or even bigger than that. Like she is so like bright that so many people want to bring her and Jelly like down, and the way that they shift that energy and bring something very powerful. Like the one thing I admire about Bunny is if someone says some hater ass shit to her, she puts it on a shirt and wears it and her brand and sells out of it and people buy it, and there's like no more of them.
She don't give a fuck. Yeah.
No, she doesn't give a fuck at all. And I think that's like what has helped me in the last 3 years elevate my mindset to like I don't give a fuck either.
Yeah.
Like, and I want to be on that level, because Bunny literally has just turned all of that pain into power, and like she just motivates me as a woman, as a person, as a human, but like almost even like as the underdog, or like the person that like she had a hard life. Like she has been through some crazy things. I have like a total vanilla trauma story compared to hers, right? And like I can still see her in such a bright way where it's like, girl, like you're meant to write books and like do movies. Like they're gonna do a lot about you. Like you know what I mean? Like you are fascinating. And I think the world's finally seeing that, like in the last couple of years. It's just like went elevator next level for her. And I think Jelly as well. But it's that energy that they have together. It's just it's everything. And I think that I'm just so grateful. I actually have episode 2 with her coming out this year. We recorded it like 8 months ago, and I'm honestly not sure when it's coming out, but I know that it will, because she has like an intro on her Patreon of all the viewers or all the people that have been on, and I'm on there. Like that's awesome. I know that it's coming. I just like, I kind of know when but it's a surprise for y'all. Like I feel when it's a surprise for y'all, but I think that it's a beautiful thing, because when that interview comes out, I didn't even have a podcast when I did that interview. Yeah. Like I didn't even have a podcast at all. So it's just like so many things that is going to help bring people to my message. And I think that's
there's now another episode probably going to come, because there's so much more you got to share.
Yeah, so much more. Yeah.
So much
yeah. She's already deemed me her in-house psychic. So I feel extremely grateful to help support her through some things that are helping her transform her life, because it just shows me it's that much more possible for everything that you want, no matter who you are or what the world tells you or what the world says, that you can literally take all that and elevate your life.
And what's so crazy is I have so many contractors that work under me in my job, and they listen to Jelly Roll all the time. And what's funny is they listen to my podcast as well. And since they've been working with me, and so a few of them are like, I like the episodes with Paige, like she knows Jelly and stuff like that, because they all love Jelly. Well, here's the thing. Here's my thing about Jelly. I'm so impressed by his journey because I went to college in Nashville. I grew up on Stewart's Ferry, or not grew up. Went to college at Stewart's Ferry. I rapped. I knew a bunch of people, Charlie P, all the different people that were down there at that time. And Jelly was with Worm, and he was doing his thing, and then Antioch, and my boy Jama. Jama and a bunch of guys went to college had done work with Jelly, and so I just remember seeing just Jelly grind it out. He knew his name. He'd do albums with Lil White. He'd do things, and you see him out in Nashville, and he was always nice, always humble. But it's just I don't know. I've never seen such an evolution. It's so incredible in how far he's become and how far he's taken off. And now it's like what's so cool is I think for Jelly is seeing how his journey took off and how I know how much passion's in Laverne and Antioch down in Nashville because people want to make it down there. You had Yellow Wolf, he went to school in Antioch for a little bit, different people, and everybody kind of knew each other down there. And it was just, I think it was such a journey. And I know a bunch of people went to college with that were trying to do music. And I think everybody that around that time that was just trying to make it or get into it are probably so impressed by Jelly's journey just because it is literally one of the most impressive things I've ever seen.
They're gonna make like a movie about Jelly Roll like they did Johnny Cash because like he's just so iconic and I think he's really broke the entire barrier of everything and it's like unlocked so much of his artistry that's like untapped. It was like untapped, I guess. And then I want to give a shout out, like his drummer's from Bullitt County, and I know Cody, and I think that's so cool that like I have this connection to Bunny, and Cody's over here in the band with Jelly, like just so how the universe works, in like the most mysterious ways. But I think that it's a beautiful thing because if you're following your dreams, you're going to meet people like that along the way that believe in your dreams as well. And then one day you're going to have that underdog story like Jelly Roll or whoever that put in the work. Yeah. Like Muhammad Ali, you know what I mean? Like so many people that put in the work that like other people look at it as an overnight success or like, look what happened for them. Like when they were literally doing everything they could to keep the dream alive, the inspiration alive, the freaking motivation. I mean, it's so many elements. And that's what I tell a couple of my friends are like in a band and I'm like the way you all can play together and be cohesive and like do practices and people have lives and kids, I'm like that's amazing, like that's beautiful. And what's crazy is like I watch a lot of hip-hop interviews like based out of Nashville because like I said I was living there for 4 years, did music, DJ'd and like really enjoyed it down there. And I try to stay current with stuff but I'll watch throwback things and I'm literally video popped up on YouTube and I can get, if I'm smoking or just chilling, I can get on YouTube, just journey. I can get it on the, rabbit hole where I'm finding stuff. And 2009, Jelly Roll recording at a house and, it's like a closet studio and he's rapping and there's like a room full of friends. And, it was so cool to see because you're like, man, 10, 11 years later, the guy's about to headline biggest arena in Nashville. It's I want to be there. We got tickets. That's awesome. But yeah, it's just really impressive. So, so music wise, I don't know. I know that we've talked about this. I think like as friends or like on Snapchat, but like, who's some of the people you listen to? I know you listen to Caskey and a few others, but who's some people you like? I listen to a lot of old like '80s pop. Like I listen to like a lot of older music, like classic rock, like the Eagles or the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd a lot. Who introduced you to that? The radio or your dad or your anybody? So like my family, my dad's a huge Motley Crue fan. I listen to some Crue, like Red Hot Chili Peppers. My dad's one of his favorite bands. Love Chili Peppers, yeah. Yeah, I love music that has soul to it, and I think like that whole rocker era without the internet is like what the internet is aspiring to be. So, you know what I mean? Like it's like this idea or vision of like a rock star. And a lot of them were really living like that rock star life. But I think what attracts me to that era is that it can't be recreated, right? Like it's happened and like that's there and it's this art of the time. And then I also like Bad Company or, I'm trying to think of like more like Nirvana, of course. Like my music taste is kind of like that, but then I also listen to like Garth Brooks or Kenny Chesney or like country because I'm from Kentucky. I grew up on country, really.
Yeah.
And then I listen to like a lot of '90s music, like all the '90s songs, from boy bands to pop to Alicia Keys to the early 2000s era. You can always put me on like a good like 1999 to 2006 station, and we'll listen to all the songs, right?
Gotcha.
But as far as like influences music, I think that I just listen to music that feels like aligned. I also listen to classical music a lot. I sleep to meditation music every night. Like if I don't have that in the background, I can't sleep now.
And I can tell you're a big music person just from your social media posts and just like you listen, and you're always listening to different genres. So that's why I wanted to ask. Real quick, a story I don't think I've ever shared on this podcast about Anthony Kiedis. Real quick from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I was walking out of the back of a building down on between 6th and 7th Street, and it was a back alley, and I had a table in my hands, and I was loading up in the back of my car. I was pouring sweat. I was perspiring like a motherfucker, and I put the table in the back of my car, and I'm laying back in my car, and I'm just rubbing sweat. Chili Peppers were playing in Louisville 3 days before. I'm still pouring sweat. They're in Indy that night. And I'm just in the back alley, and I'm working for Leo Weekly at the time, and I had an event. So I'm trying to load up all the stuff from our back office. And I look down the alley, and there's a guy walking with an LA Lakers gear with the little boy with long hair. And they're just walking down the alley. And I'm staring, and I'm like, am I fucking losing my mind? Is that the lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers? So I go back in my office, and I chill in the back of the bottom stairs. He starts walking. I put this other table aside. I come out. I said, Mr. Kiedis. He turns around. He said, hello. I said, holy shit. I said, hey, how are you doing? Shook his hand. He said, this is my son. Introduced me. And then next thing, I swear to God, this is true. I'll put my hand on anything. This is a true story. I said, can I get a picture? He's like, I don't do pictures, especially when I'm my son. And I said, this is unbelievable. Out of nowhere. Sarah Mitchell, my friend on Facebook, comes out, my manager at the time, salesman. She goes, what's going on, Eric? I said, I'm sorry I talked. I said, what's going on, man? He's like, yeah, we got show in Indy. He's like, I'm just looking for a good spot for breakfast. He's like, we just been chilling here at the 21C. He's like, we're going up. It's nice to meet you, man. He's like, by the way, he's like, thanks for calling me Mr. Keys. It was cool. And then he just walked off, and I'm like shaking. I turn around, and Sarah's like, who's that? Says the lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I said, are you fucking crazy? She's like, I don't listen to him. She's like, I didn't know. I said, so I literally am like calling my art director, John Nicholson, one of my best friends, lives in Alabama. He worked with me in Leo. I'm like, dude, I just fucking met. He's like, what? He's like running to the fucking front of the office, like blew my mind. Coolest thing. I get home, my ex is at home, and I said, you're not believing what has happened. It's like, I can't wash his hand. I was like freaking the fuck out, and it blew my mind. It was one of the coolest moments ever. I've seen them twice. I got their fucking frame poster on my wall. Chili Peppers are like the thing me and my dad had bonded about. Like, so for that to happen, I called him immediately. He's fucking blown away. He's like pumped. So Red Hot Chili Peppers means a lot to me. And so I don't think I've ever shared this story, but I did meet him back alley. I swear to God, it was craziest thing I've ever fucking had happen. Like random as fuck.
That's iconic. That's totally a sleazy fucking story. That's totally something that would happen to you, and that's what I literally love being around you and your energy, because after I like get around you, I'm kind of like, fuck the world. I'm gonna buy a boat. I can live on the boat. I'll get a truck. I'll figure out how we're gonna get the boat off of it. Like you, like something about your energy makes people like want to fucking chuck something off the balcony and then jump after it or something. Like just fucking crazy. Like just balls to the wall over here all the time. That's how I feel your life is, and like. You've just done so many things.
I mean, I really have, and I'm blessed, I'm thankful, and I'm humble about it. But I will say this, there's things I cannot explain and how they react. Like another crazy music story that to this day I'm still just blown away. I lined up for, 3 hours to get Kendrick Lamar tickets back in 2013. And I'm waiting in line, and I get to the door, and they're like, we're sold out, but you can leave your name and number. I was like, fuck, whatever. I'm not getting tickets. I get a call the day of the show, 2 hours before. I'm front fucking row. I went front fucking row at Kendrick Lamar and literally lined up and just randomly got picked because few people didn't pick the tickets. Will call. So me, Larry, and Eddie got to go, and we all just front row. Kendrick's giving us half all this shit whole day. I'm fucking bummed the whole thing. I swear to God, I got pictures on my wall right now in the background.
See?
But insane. Like I'm telling you, my music encounters are crazy. And
I have a cool story like that.
Yeah, what's the telling?
It was with Chris Angel, the magician, or the Mind Freak.
I love Mind Freak.
So
I know A&E.
In Vegas, he has a residency, and I've seen him twice. But the first time that I went solo, and I had like a solo seat. Like, and it wasn't like I was like probably like 15th row or something.
I love you do solo shit.
I was on a trip by myself. There was no one with me in Vegas. So I was going to see Chris Angel. That's what I always do. I go to the shows.
You're brave. I love that. That's dope.
Yeah, that's dope. Vegas is cool. Like, I like Vegas.
No, I just love that you just do solo shit. That's it.
I mean, I'm not going to, like, go on a hiking trip solo.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah,
we don't need you disappearing in a park. We need you, like...
Yeah. So... There's some weird shit that goes on in those parks. I've been seeing that.
I don't need contrary charity Yosemite, and then I'm having to look for you for like weeks. No, do not go to parks by yourself.
Okay, so Chris Angel, I bought this ticket. It was not cheap. I was like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have a fucking good time. Well, I'm being me. I'm vibing. The concierge came over and he was like, how are you doing tonight? And I was like, I'm good. How are you? And he was like, are you solo? And I was like, yeah. He was like, come with me. I was like, okay. So I just stand up. And I mean, he works there. He's got like a suit on. He's doing his thing. He's seating people. He takes me to the literal front row and sets me in between two couples. There's an empty seat, one empty seat. And I was literally from me to you with Chris Angel the whole time. That all the magic and crazy things was happening.
When he sat you down, I swear I bet you're mad at one point. He said, "Man freak," like you felt it there, like that's a man freak, like because he does some shit that blows me away. Let me ask you this now. Here's another question. What's your thoughts on magic? I love magic. So
I think magic's amazing. I think that a lot of the magic could be very, very real. I think obviously there's always illusions, but like we see what we want to see. So like who's to say it's real and who's to say it's not? You know what I mean?
I got a funny story about
this whole place is like magic or illusion.
True.
Like everything that we know to be is an illusion. And what I like to think about is like how many people don't even live here right now. They live in the past or the future. They're either constantly worrying about something that hasn't happened yet or constantly thinking about something that has already occurred.
And they, and a lot of people want to be Houdini and have that magic wand. But some people, I don't know. It's just, I really do think there's just some true magicians out there. I will say a funny story. There was a barbecue restaurant downtown Louisville, and my ex was working at it. She calls me and she says, "There's a magician here. I know you love magic." I do. If magic show comes on, I'm fucking watching.
I like magic.
I'm fucking glued. And so next thing you know, I showed up. I said, "Hi, I'm Eric." I said, "This is really cringy and weird," but I said, "That's my girlfriend, the bartender. I heard you do magic. Can you do some tricks for me?" He's like,
"Can you do some tricks for me?"
I swear to God, I did it. And he was like, he's drinking. He's like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "I'm doing a show like this weekend." He's like, "But yeah." He's like, "What?" We ended up hitting it off. 3 nights in a row, I drank bourbon and just watched him do card tricks for hours. But then night 3, got to a point where I was like, "Bro, you're doing some duplicate tricks." Like, I didn't say that, but he's doing some of those same repetitive ones. And I was like, "Dude, you're blowing my mind." But I was like, "It's a lot. Like, I got to go." He's like, "Oh, I can show you one more." I mean, it got to a point where I think I was just feeling that he was like, somebody's really focused on it. But yeah, some supposed, I forgot his name, but he was some magician in town. And I just tell my ex, I'm like, "Hey, she hooked me up free chicken and drinks." So I'm like, "Hey, give me and the magician some drinks and her chicken." I was like, because I had to pick her up from work. So I'm over there eating chicken. He's just like, "Hey, what's up out here?" And pull a fucking quarter out and shit. And I'm just blown away the whole time. I'm just eating chicken. He's just blowing me away.
I mean, I think that there's like street magic like that, and then like street magic like Chris Angel. Like what I saw and like what happened at his show.
It's unexplainable sometimes.
No, not sometimes. The whole fucking show is wild. It's like it really is like the wildest thing. Like the TV show wasn't really even my favorite thing. It was cool. Like I watched it, that's back when reality TV kind of first came out. It was like a staple in reality
I
stuff.
love that show.
Yeah, it was cool. But the crowd and stuff kind of get on my nerves. Like here, he's doing his own thing. It's like a whole thing. But I'll say that it was popping, and I definitely went back a second time.
And he made an elephant disappear once. I heard.
I don't know. He does a lot of crazy things. I can't even explain what he does on stage.
And the thing,
and there's no way for like anything else to be occurring. For like you're looking at it.
It's David Blaine does the same thing, blows my mind. A lot of these guys, it's just absolutely crazy. So I just had to ask you some questions. Some things I wanted to know, and I thought the guests would love to know. So thank you for those answers. So let's definitely get the cards out. I'm looking over at them. I didn't even realize till you tell me during our little intermission break between part 1 and part 2 you had these. I didn't even realize. I've been so focused. So also, shout out to Hershey's. I want to sponsor. This Hershey bar I ate before part 2 was incredible. It hit the spot. So, but I'm definitely excited.
All right, I'm gonna say a blessing though. Okay. Angels, ancestors, spirit guides, help me to be a clear and perfect channel. Help me to bring through messages in Eric's highest and best. We ask for your protection and guidance. Spirit circle is open. Do you have a question?
Ooh.
These are the angel answer oracle cards.
Okay.
And they have 2 yes cards, 2 no cards, and a few other like weight type cards, but then some of them will say things like truth or romance or just like random. So like it's pretty random, but there is a yes with an exclamation point, a no with an exclamation point, and then regular.
So I need a question.
If you, I thought you had a question. Anyways, that's how I brought these. I thought you had a question.
You always know, like, gosh, okay. All right. I know this. I don't want to be broad with it, but tell me, like, just give me the future. Tell me that, like, what do you sense for like this year? Like,
the rest of this year? What's the rest of this year? That's a good question.
I like that.
What's the rest of this year?
2022 it's been an interesting year. It's been good in past years.
What's for the rest of this year?
By the way,
be assertive.
This is unbelievable.
I feel like this is about being assertive with your. It's got an exclamation point. So like really taking action, taking charge, doing your own thing, trying something new, like we were talking about on part 1.
Yeah.
Doing something that scares you.
I fucking love it. Okay.
That's not it. Meditation brings answers. Spirit said you better crack down and start meditating regularly and using your mind to fuel a reality that maybe doesn't even exist yet. And like being very like assertive in your mind of like what it is you want specifically. Yeah, but like way more specific. You live your life like a free bird, but you got to nail some things down and like so the universe can, they're sending you red hot chili peppers in an alley, but you could have like a yacht on the coast.
Red hot chili peppers in an alley. I love it.
We got forgiveness.
Ooh.
So I feel like forgiving people that maybe like anybody that you need to forgive, and sometimes we're like, oh, we're fine, but deep down
can I tell you something though? I'm not gonna say any names, but I only had one person on my block list for the past 5 years, and I unblocked 3 weeks ago because I said, why? You
only have one person on your block list?
And I unblocked them.
I literally probably have thousands of people on my block list.
3 weeks ago I unblocked that one person because I said, why? I'm not adding them. I don't want them to like
Oh my gosh, I literally have so many people blocked.
But do you think that was me kind of just being like, I'm forgiven?
Get more information. I think there's more. I think it's deeper than that. That's a surface level. That was surface level. Yeah, that's a surface level thing.
What do you think that means? Like, what do you mean?
It means get more information. There's more things that you need to dive into that maybe require forgiveness. Yeah.
Oh, I need to forgive some people.
Yeah. Even if you don't give an apology, even if they really did do something. But it's a peaceful resolution. Peaceful resolution. Look, you are getting concerned. Your face, his face, y'all. If you could see his face right now. Peaceful resolution.
So that means
it'll be fine, but you gotta
forgive
and air some things out. Maybe even speak up about. Be assertive was your first card. Sounds like you need to have some uncomfortable conversations with people, and maybe cut them out of your life.
What? Really?
For the rest of the year. Yeah, what do you mean, really?
I wonder who that is. I wonder who that be.
You never know. It says recovery. I feel like it might be someone that you've had a strained relationship with for a long time. And maybe you can like recover that bond, or maybe not. Maybe it's like, but there's things that need to be aired out. Even if it's like, wow, I can't believe I'm writing you this because it's kind of embarrassing, but I need to say this to you. You
oh my God,
your ego
Paige.
aside.
This is insane.
He's got to put his ego aside.
What is going on? This is insane. This is oh my gosh, this is so powerful.
That's the last card. I think, what do we got? 6 cards.
Wow. This is so powerful. Because here's the thing. I have been very assertive lately. I've been pretty hard on a few contract workers.
You see the meditation card, though. Don't forget the details. Spirit's trying to give you some real clarity.
Like, I need to reflect.
And meditate. And just breathe. And listen to some meditation music on YouTube. Frequencies for healing, forgiveness. Frequencies for all of the things. They have it for dreams. They have it for relaxation. I like lo-fi hip-hop beats. Just like a chill, like background noise music, but it's amazing. It's not noise, it's like amazing. But I feel like more reflection, more speaking up, more getting things off your chest and saying how it really is.
Because okay, here's the thing about you. You're fucking accurate every time. I have seen you in action 3 times. You blew my mind the first time. I was like, okay, that's cute. Second time, holy fuck. Third time, this is insane. You are so accurate. I'm such a believer in everything you do, and I don't give a fuck. People can be haters. People are like, oh, that's not true, but fuck you. I've seen it. You've never seen a room of 15 people and like 3 people get emotional, and she's literally doing it by numbers. It's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in my life. This, though, I'm going to be honest. After you've done your readings on me, though, all 3 times, I feel like I've known exactly my next action. Paige,
elevation.
Contrary Cherry, I do not know my next move with this reading. Like, I'm trying to figure out, where do I need to start being, who do I got to be assertive with, and what do I, like,
you gotta reflect and meditate to find out.
Yeah, there's someone that I need to forget.
It's a meditation reflection thing.
Now, let me ask you this. I know you.
Do you want another card? You want a clarity card?
Well, here's this real quick. I just want to know, do you think I'm looking to forgive, or I need to get forgiveness? I need to be forgiven. I just don't know. Like, how do you think it?
I think that there's a peaceful resolution, but it's a difficult conversation.
That's where I need to figure out if it's me that needs the forgiveness, or if I need to forgive someone.
You want a clarity card?
Yeah.
The clarity card, y'all.
This is powerful.
Hold on.
This is powerful.
Hold on. Wait. They'll tell you though. There's no action move. This is what I tell Gemini all the time. It says wait, because these motherfuckers want to be out doing something about it, but Spirit's like, no, set in silence and set in the dark. Listen to me. And no one, and everybody's like, well, what do I do? And they're like, nothing, but listen. They said, wait. Look at the sword. Wait. It's time to wait. It's time to meditate. Not do nothing. They'll tell you, but you only will be able to get those answers. They're not going to tell me right now because they want you to do the work this time. Look, last 3 times I gave you what you needed to do. Now Spirit's like, it's time to meditate and reflect on what you need to do sun.
Because I walked out of the side of the building at the place where, because at that point you had been on my show twice at that point, and I come out of the side of the building, I looked at you and I was just like, I know my next action. Like you've always put me in a good spot for action. You even were sweet enough to help me that one time when I just asked you for like a couple of questions about some stuff, and it was like you knew. And the reading you did on season 2 though was crazy. It was so accurate. It was like freaky accurate, and I'm. This is powerful. I got chill.
Meditation brings answers is like your main card with the weight. I feel like at the end of the day, what needs to be brought to your attention will be brought to your attention in meditation. When you can't sit comfortably in the stillness, there's things that need to be addressed. And that's why so many people get triggered when I tell them to meditate, because it is physically at the beginning probably uncomfortable because we're not used to doing that. And it's so good for your soul. It's so good for your spirit. It's so good for your mental health. And a lot of people's problems, especially in their relationships or life, could be solved with meditation and reflection on their own actions, how they play a part in things, and as well, how they're letting other people play a part in things. And like dissecting all of that. It doesn't have to be good or bad. It can be neutral.
Because reflection's the only thing that helps me sometimes when I am
meditation down. Though is a different level where you unlock with like breathing and focusing differently. Like not reflecting on something specific, but meditation is about bringing awareness to things that could be hidden, and the stillness eventually leads you to things that need to be seen.
This is powerful.
It's your next level. The next level can't be unlocked no matter what anybody tells you until you do that stuff. And it could even be forgiving yourself too. And it could mean forgiveness towards you, but forgiving yourself as well. Any like self-imposing thoughts or limitations that need to be like wiped clean. Because sometimes it's easy to like see different perspectives of it through meditation.
I feel like too that like if I do meditate, I feel like either way the forgiveness would be getting more information either out of me or out of the person. Like real quick, just looking at it, like to be assertive would be me being firm about I want to get this resolved now with whoever it shall be or whoever the people are. Getting more information is either going to be from me or them. The peaceful resolution, I know that will be the end, but it's going to be a bitch to get to that. And then it's going to be, the meditation was the first process, so that's where it cues up here. When it comes down to the recovery, weight, and forgiveness, I feel like I have to wait first. I'm assertive, but I have to wait to get the info. Then that's where I figure out, okay, who's either getting forgiven. Me forgiving them or they forgiving me, and then we cool recovery, like we cool, or are we just going our separate ways? And then at the end, they're in my life or not in my life, but I can text you and know in my life there was a peaceful resolution. How do you like that?
There you go.
Was that good?
There you go. Yeah. I'm gonna get you a card deck. You might need one.
Oh gosh, this is so powerful.
I literally
that's huge.
Made those 2 oracle decks that I created, and they're so amazing. I'm like using them for everything.
You're blowing my mind. Because I would appreciate that. If you got me a card deck, I know it'd be the real deal. I'm gonna be honest. When you do it every time, it's cool. Like I'm in shock right now. This is so powerful. I can't keep saying that.
There you go.
Everybody, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Book something with Paige. That's not why we did it. She does this every time. But please, she's got a gift. She's literally
on the bottom of the deck. This is for everybody listening. It says the situation will improve. That's for everyone. So anybody who's out there like feeling down or feeling like they can't do what they want to do, like the situation will improve if you have faith in the unknown. And some people might say that I live like in a bubble, but I fucking love it here. And I don't see what other people see in the world. The only thing that upsets me is all you dusty people that maybe throw trash out. And I don't know if that's you or someone you saw, because I know we all see the trash. I don't know who throws it. If I actually personally witnessed it, I would probably fucking flip out. But it's normally like just already there.
You are always in a safe place, which I like, and because it's really cool to see. You're always like you're in your crib or you're in your zone, and you don't let people fade you. Like I said, we talked about this in part one, and I think that is what's going to keep taking you to the top. Is that, like you said, don't let them bring you down. Like you already said, people block, people do stupid shit. Fuck them. You're a contrary cherry.
Yeah, I'm really cool with like making space in my life for anything. Like if you don't have space in your life, I always say this, like if you have a controlling partner, the universe is not going to send you opportunities that would align you.
True.
Because your partner's going to help you talk yourself out of it.
And you chose that at the, like those people chose to, you can eventually make that decision to be like, hey, I got to make time for myself.
Honestly, I think that's what's helped me on my journey is I've just really reserved all of my energy that I would give to a partner or to really anyone and just reserved it for myself. And then once I built up enough of it, I was able to start really giving to clients and like giving to others. And now I get so much joy and like gratification and satisfaction from helping people and them being like, this moment changed my life. Like, I know there's so many people that got a reading from me that's amazing. And I don't remember because I've done hundreds of readings in the last 6 weeks or whatever. But it actually blows my mind just with the one-on-one clients on my Patreon, how many readings I do in a month. And like how honestly they come so naturally. It's not like, it's a difficult thing for me to sit down and do it, right? Like even yesterday with all the things I was going through, I still sat down and did 3 readings because like it brought me joy and it was bringing me like energy. And that's like what, my friend would have wanted me to do and that kind of thing. So I was like, reading cards is like what drives me, not just the cards, reading the energy, reading the person, understanding their journey differently, helping them see something that maybe they can't see. That's like why I do what I do, because helping people see what they can't see changes their fucking life.
And I want to also bring up like something that you and I had talked about earlier today, and your friend that you mentioned, like let's talk about your friend. Your friend had recently passed. We had talked during the break about it, and I had texted you telling you I wanted to definitely pay a tribute to them. I know they were a big key in your life, big factors. So would you like to talk about them?
Yeah, Slick Rick, shout out, RIP. Really great person, really just a person that knew everybody everywhere. He literally had a friend or a connection in like every setting. And I think a lot of people could live their life a little more in that realm of like communicating or being friendly or holding a door for someone or helping someone in need. Like he was totally the person that would just like help anyone, So hearing of his passing yesterday, definitely very tragic. I will say he was in a position in an accident like 9 months ago that left him paralyzed from the neck down. And that accident was caused by a seizure that he had. So, life is short. And I think that if anything we can learn from like my friend is you really do have to live your life like to the absolute fullest. It's definitely a different level of awareness when you kind of make peace that you don't know when your last day is. I think a lot of people fight that current. They kind of worry about it. And I don't think that's healthy. I think, you have to make peace that you came here to live and die, and there's that balance. So you just need to do it today. Like, don't wait, because he was only 34 years old. And even though he had like health issues and stuff, and then I later found out that his mom had passed at age 30. So obviously, I think his spirit or his soul kind of knew, like, I need to live my life now. I need to do this now. But since hearing that yesterday, it just brought out a lot of emotions, especially knowing that we kind of like drifted apart in the last year or so, and just a lot of the things that happened that aligned us together. It was very spiritual. It was very like, at that time, I really needed a friend, and it was just, elevation together. But we just took different paths. And I think that's the thing about death is you see that some people are on a path that you're just not on, or some people are doing things that you're just not doing, and you have to just make peace with your own path. And I think he lived his life to the fucking fullest. I know he's seen more cities and places than most people. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think that he's in a much better place legitimately, considering the factors that kind of led to this moment. So definitely unexpected, definitely not something that you want to hear on just a regular Tuesday, but shit happens. And I think he would want me to use this as like a spiritual growth moment where it's like, wow, like you really do have to take every moment in. You have to smell the roses. You have to enjoy this moment and not be so caught up in that future moment or the past. Like, of course, I want to heal and I want to reach the world, but I'm also really cool with the people I'm reaching right now. And even though it's like this more intimate following, I like that because, there's always that point in your journey that things change. And, I want to be as authentic as possible. And I think my friend did a very good job of that because now with his passing, the GoFundMe that was set up like 24 hours ago already is almost $3,000. So I think that's amazing. I think there's a lot that people don't know because it's left unsaid. And if anything I could say is like, don't really hold grudges. You hear that and you hear like, oh, the last time we talked, it wasn't good. And then they're gone. It's kind of like that. Like, we didn't really have like a verbal falling out, but it was just like we had drifted and then he got in that accident and it was like, he was in like New York or something. And then they finally got him home. And from my understanding, it was only maybe 2 months ago. So I really wouldn't have known all that. Yeah. Luckily, his cousin wrote me and like kind of filled me in. I was definitely just shocked to hear what I was hearing. But it's one of those things where it's like, I know people in our life have an expiration date. There's always that last conversation. And, when someone passes, you try to recall it. But what about all the people that you've left behind that are still living? It's like sometimes we have to put in perspective, like our words and things mean something very long term, no matter if it's good or bad. So if you make a positive impact on people, not only when you're gone, but hopefully while you're still here, that they'll tell you that you inspire them. And I think my following right now is so inspirational and so kind and caring. And like, I've just bonded with so many people through spirituality. And, I think it was definitely all divine. And if I could say anything about Slick Rick is I feel like he knew his time here was short and limited, and that's why he lived like he did. And that's why he always shared and gave people stuff and helped people, because I think he realized that like he had a limited amount of time and he wasn't going to spend it doing a 9 to 5 and living in a singular place. I've never known him to have a singular household residence ever in like the 3.5 years. Yeah, like with a mission and meeting people, networking. He's like the original network king, like legit, like in especially the weed community and the 420 community. He definitely had a whole lot going.
I'm really sorry that, and I'm glad that you're able to reflect on such a positive note, and I'm thankful that you still want to come on the show and didn't bring you down, but also you're able to share that message. And I wanted you to be able to pay tribute because he sounded like an icon, definitely local, great dude, and he had, so it's sad, especially that age. And I think everybody deserves a tribute. And, that's why, like on the last episode, I talked about Kenneth that passed, my friend, and, here recently. And, everybody's got a cool story and everybody deserves some kind of dedication. And after the reading you gave me and after how much we've talked tonight, digested, there's a lot I want to think about and reflect on. And I think it's good. I think you're right. I think you kind of motivated me now where there's people I need to probably reach out to and just talk. And maybe I can apologize for shit and they can apologize for shit. But at the end of the day, I think you're right. And you always make me think. So that's good. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to part 2. It's an amazing episode, amazing time. Both episodes were incredible. Thank you all for always listening and tuning in. You can reach me at vibingwithsleazy@gmail.com, Vibing with Sleazy, the podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Reach out, send love, tell me what you hate, tell me what you love. I want to thank Paige. Paige was an incredible guest, Contrary Cherry. Her brand, her podcast, everything she's doing, she's always doing it big. She's a positive person. She's a positive light, and we need more people like her. And we're I think everybody's very thankful that we have you. And so, thank you for coming on. And please share your info.
Yeah, everybody go to my website, contrarycherryco.com, and find all my social media services and reviews on my website.
Thank you. And again, for being on, and thank everybody for listening. This is Vibing with Sleazy, the podcast, and we are out. Peace.
Bye.